think the men's rights movement is at odds with feminism? What has created that clash and that war between each other?
Well, one, feminism has spent the last 50 years demonizing men, which is sort of one of the problems. Feminist scholars have characterized men as inherently violent, inherently bad, inherently predatory, inherently oppressive. They have postulated that masculinity is a disease.
Feminists aren't the only problem. The problems didn't start with feminism. So when I start criticizing feminism, I want you to know you're just part of the problem. They're just part of the problem. You calling men oppressors and women oppressed demonizes men, and I believe diminishes women at the same time. It's a way of telling men to shut up. It's a way of telling men that their experiences don't matter. You tell a man he's privileged, therefore anything he's gone through or anything he has to say doesn't matter. His lived experiences don't matter because he's privileged. It's just the oppression dialectic needs to go.
It's so hard to convince people to look at men's rights activism and support it without first allowing them to at least escape the stranglehold that feminism has on their minds. I do believe it is dogma. It's zealotry.
There are good people in the feminist movement. There are not good people in the radical feminist movement. That system is based on hate. And hate is, in my opinion, hate's the most destructive force in the world.
They're so quick to call us man-haters or misandrists. Misandry for men? No. Like, they're so quick to say that when all we're doing is talking about, like, patriarchal societies and structures that we want to dismantle. Nothing against men in particular, but just saying, hey, this is the system that we live in, and this puts men above women, and it's not necessarily their fault, but hey, recognize what's happening here, and let's work together to dismantle it.
The omnipotent, ever-present patriarchy, the invisible force that directs all of our lives, right, and causes all oppression and all suffering, right, our devil.
And the beautiful, wonderful force for justice, feminism, the way. It's the way. It sounds like religion. It sounds like religion.
And oh my goodness, for a movement that's only about equality and isn't blaming of men. They name the force for evil
after men, and the force for justice after women. And this being a movement
is very, very, very concerned about the implications of language. So concerned that if you call a firefighter a fireman, it will discourage little girls from aspiring to be firefighters. And sometimes discourage grown women from aspiring to be firefighters, right? By calling them firemen. But we can call the force for all oppression, we can call that essentially men. Patriarchy, right? And we can call the force for good and justice women. And that kind of language, that has no implications. We're not blaming men.
we just named everything bad after them.